Good morning, good morning, do 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 do. Good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome to a daily dose of joy. Wow, well, we're wrapping up summer here in Atlanta. You can just feel it in the air, usually only in the early morning. Atlanta still stays quite balmy through most of September. But my birthday's on October 2nd, and the way I know how the seasons work is when I was a little kid, it would always be too cool to have a pool birthday party. It'd be too cold to have a birthday party at the pool on October 2nd. So we're getting close, guys. Getting close to sweaters, and those of you further north are probably already well into that. But I am just sort of celebrating the last few balmy days we have, and it's lovely because my son's on fall break, so we're playing a lot with the dog and just, really enjoying the last of the warm weather. Today, that leads us into our microdosing tool about Whoopsie Daisy Stories. And so I started thinking of summer Whoopsie Daisy Stories. Just kind of celebrating the tail end of summer. And summer always allows for lots of them. Like some little micro Whoopsie Daisies we have an amazing capacity in our house to get watermelon juice all over the house in the summer because it's my son's favorite fruit aside from mangoes. The sweeter the better when you're fruit, but summer watermelons in the South are just so good. And so I was like, I'm like, you're grown now. You can keep your watermelon juice from following you. And so we had rules, you can only eat your watermelon at the table. But somehow we had this long discussion about it this summer. And then watermelon juice. Had a watermelon, it was super juicy, he was really enjoying it. And cleaned up the table, cleaned up everything, but hadn't realized it had dripped heavily, saturated the front of his shirt. And then he went and face planted on the sofa. And then we had this watermelon print on the sofa. I was like, whoopsie daisy, what do you do? Besides, hand your kid some fabric cleaner. Here you go, honey. It's just whoopsie daisy. Life happens. And just lots of little micro whoopsie daisies that are summer related. Tons, obviously. I was thinking, what are the things that we have repeat whoopsie daisies with? What are the things in your life that you chronically sort of flub up or get a little sideways or, And one of my most chronic summer whoopsie daisies is, I try and use this nice sunscreen that's even though I'm not snorkeling, with visions of when I go snorkeling next, I get this safe for the reef kind of sunscreens. And my sunscreens tend to be a little white, a little chalky, a little ashy looking. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll spend the time rubbing it in. But periodically, I'll not have the time to rub it in or not see a mirror and think I've got it all rubbed in. And I'll have some Mohican kind of war paint white streak across my face. And so I've had a number of being dressed up, ready to go out in the world, as much as we're out in the world these days, and showing up somewhere and somebody going, oh, just a minute, and rubbing my sunscreen in for me. Sunscreen whoopsie daisies. Just they happen. Part of summer. Let's see. What are some other summer whoopsie daisy stories? That happen repeatedly. We have summer rains, summer thunder showers. And so there's always a time where I've got the windows open because it's beautiful, early summer morning air coming through the house. And then a 10-minute thunderstorm will pass through. Not long, but it'll be enough to rain in the house. It's whoopsie daisy, get out the mop, here we go. And, you know, I'm not going to give up opening my windows in the morning. It's so lovely. But it helps to be able to laugh and not be irritated as I'm getting ready for something that I may have to stop and sop up the rain that is in the living room. Like, whoopsie daisy. I don't know. These are sort of goofy but happy whoopsie daisies for me. Happy thoughts of the rituals of summer and appreciation and gratitude that my heart is lighter. I do remember these things like piling one on top of the other and creating stress and tension and a lot more can chemistry in my brain years and years ago. And like being left in tears, you know, just my brain didn't have the resiliency it does now when its baseline is heavy dose neurotransmitters. And now, you know, I can roll with those and more as my life becomes more and more dynamic, and then even look back at them and see them as part of the rituals of summer. So this is a kind of a letter to my past self. I always think of it as like a message in a bottle to my past self, or to somebody who is finding their spontaneous laughter, to value the Whoopsie Daisy story, pausing, even if it's that you have a stress response to something, and what you do is later you're able to retell it to yourself in a humorous way and think, how could I look at this from a different angle and find the levity and find the humor. And I promise your brain can't help but change. Your brain will start to default to that with practice and repetition. So in solidarity, may today surprise and delight us. Let's take 3 gentle breaths together. Thank you for doing this with me. I love it. And I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Bye.